Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here from G3. Okay, today's topic is, should I go to college or should I learn a skill or a trade? This is one of my favorite questions. So, in the research that I've done, back at the turn of the century, in the 1920s, about 100 years ago, only about 10% of people in this country, in the United States, went to college. And that number in the 1950s grew to more like 25%. So majority of folks didn't go to college. And they had, they were trade or technical jobs, or they were in manufacturing when things were actually made here in the US. And people had a lot of career opportunities. Ironically, today, if you take a look at the fact that a radio tech in the medical field can make between $70,000 and $90,000 a year in some markets just running an x-ray machine, or a plumber or an electrician can make about this $50,000 to $75,000 doing the same thing. So it's amazing how many different options there are for people who are looking for something other than going to college. And so right now in this country, I believe something like 63 or 68% or something like that of people go to college. And that number is way too high. Somebody had posted something the other day about their daughter is 25 and she has $36,000 worth of student loan debt from going to a four-year college, and is making pizzas at $25,000 a year. Well, making pizzas is a great job. Somebody has to do it. But when you make a choice to invest in a college career, you want to make sure you invest in one that's going to produce a return. Now, a lot of people get degrees in English or degrees in history or degrees in philosophy or degrees in something they like. Well, that's great. The problem is that unless you're going to become a history teacher or an English teacher, or you're going to become the next, Socrates, then there isn't much call for somebody with a degree in English or a degree in political science or something like that necessarily. Now, don't go hating on me in the comments for specific degrees. I'm just saying that if you're looking at the employability of folks going to college, that if you are a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, there are significantly more opportunities for you because the industry for those jobs is more coordinated and more consolidated. That's all I'm saying. If you've got a degree in English and you've got a great job in some corporation somewhere doing ad copy or doing something else, another creative position, great. Congratulations, you're crushing it. But there are far too many people that believe they need a college degree in order to compete. Well, you're not competing with many people except other high school students for a job at the local pizza parlor making large pies. So, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I just mean that if you're gonna spend, 4 years of your life and where you could have been making $25,000 a year, frankly, in that same job, you wasted $100,000 worth of potential income, and you have $36,000 worth of debt. So your net loss on that opportunity to go to college is $136,000. And since you didn't improve your position any from a job you could have had without going to college, then you will almost likely never recoup that money. So why spend the money if you're not going to get anything for it? And so, it's important that people understand and have a realistic expectation of the role of college and how that's going to lead to a career that you can do something with. So it's important that everybody understand that not everybody needs to go to college. And I find it ironic because I always like to, people that say, well, Zuckerberg and Gates and Richard Branson and a bunch of folks didn't graduate from college. You're right, they didn't. But, chances are you're not Zuckerberg or you're not Gates. You might be, and if you are, congratulations. I look forward to buying your products and supporting you for the rest of your natural life. But if you're not, going to make the next Facebook, or you're not going to make the next Microsoft Windows, then you need to have a plan that's more than just, I'm going to go to college, I'm not going to do anything with it, or I'm going to make it halfway through and my college roommate and I are going to drop out to start an app company. That may be a great idea. It may actually even make you more money than it would if you stayed in school. But it's hard to say without knowing more about what the opportunities actually are. So somebody's asked me, so what are the alternatives? And so, of course, you can go to a 2-year associate's degree program. You can take, there are technical schools that will, teach you a technical trade like HVAC repair, or, becoming an electrician or a plumber or a medical technician and other things like that. Those are great jobs. In fact, there are more jobs in the medical field, in medical assisting and medical techs, than they even know what to do with. You can get a job quite easily, and placements are very high for people who go through those programs. So you have to look at those as an alternative. The other thing is, folks have said, well, should I go to college or should I just learn to code on my own? Well, I tell you what, most colleges and universities have really comprehensive programs that have really good faculty and staff that have spent a lot of time honing their material to provide a specific experience. And certain programs like Virginia Tech or the University of Maryland or MIT and other places have really phenomenal technical programs. But there's a lot of information online as well. In fact, most of Harvard's programs are completely available online. You can take the entire Harvard MBA program online. You don't get a degree from there, but you get all the knowledge and experience of what their online information has to offer. So there's lots of stuff out there. Also, there's a lot of great stuff on YouTube. Even if you discount some of the business gurus and some of the other folks out there trying to sell you something. See, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm just trying to provide a service, helping to share information with people so they understand what the reality of stuff is. This is where you're going to get the truth unfiltered. And so I want to share my experiences from the last 30 years that hopefully will help somebody else avoid some of the same mistakes I've made and help benefit them in doing what they're doing. And that's why I do this. I'm not selling you a program for $99. I'm not going to, claim that I'm going to improve your life. The information's just there. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it benefits you in some way. And if it does, please provide a comment as to how it may have helped you. And I appreciate all the people on Quora who've reached out to me personally, saying that my answers on Quora have been very, very helpful for them personally. That gives me a lot of satisfaction. That's why I do it. Having 5 million answer views in the last 45 days gives me an opportunity to be able to reach a lot of people who hopefully can benefit from something I have to say, and that's great. The other great thing is Udemy and Khan Academy. So I cannot say enough about Khan Academy. It's a phenomenal platform. I cannot thank the folks enough for building the platform and bringing that information to the marketplace. It is going to be probably the most beneficial impact on education of the last 20 years, for sure. Other thing is Udemy.com. I own probably 200 courses. I haven't taken them all, but I own about 200 courses, and it's important to be able to go through those. Every time there's a $99 or a $9.99 sale or $10 sale, whatever, I always buy 5 or 10 different courses and spend $100 adding to my inventory of courses. But it's a great platform. You get access to it for the rest of your life or until the platform doesn't exist anymore, and it's a great way to be able to get your skills up. The best example I have is a local high school here in our area, Deep Run High School in Glen Allen, Virginia, has a Center for Information Technology. And one of the students there, who we tried to get to intern for us like a few years back, got a waiver and was able to intern in his own company that he created. This is at age 17. And he was able to build clientele to where he didn't go to college. He built a book of business between 17 and 18 years old that made him $150,000 a year. And he did that for the first 12 to 18 months. And then after that, the amount of business dropped off to, I understand, around $100,000 a year. But look, in the 4 years he would have gone to college, he would have lost $400,000. And the only benefit would be that he would be maybe making $25,000 a year more. Well, it takes, a long time, over 20 years to make back the money you would have lost by losing $400,000, $500,000 in revenue, $25,000 a year at a time. My goodness. So you're losing 20 years worth of future revenue by going to college for those 4 years. You have to do the math. College is a great experience. I recommend it. I know my kids are going to go to college, but I do want people to be realistic that there are other solutions, and college is not for everybody. And you have to be willing to look honestly at what you get for what you pay. Back when I went to college, my tuition was $4,500 a semester, so $9,000 a year. A 4-year degree costs less than $50,000, so less than $40,000. So, but nowadays, most schools of any real merit cost about $20,000 a year. So you're talking about $80,000 for a 4-year degree, almost $100,000, including room and board and everything. So is that really what you want to spend $100,000 on? It's hard to make those kind of decisions. And too many parents are bankrolling their kids' colleges where they're spending $100,000 a kid for 3 kids, and that $300,000 is money that those parents would have had to spend or would have had to retire with, or could have been building retirement value in their portfolio. And the future value of that money, based on the investment information we had in the other video, means they lose out almost $1 million in future money because they took $300,000 out of circulation. Man, that's a huge price to pay. That means those kids of yours that you helped put through college will likely one day have to be helping you because you used all your money to put them through college. So it's important that you look for the right financial strategies for college. It's important that you pick a program that makes sense and that you have a decent strategy to be able to execute and to succeed in life. And I don't think we've had an honest enough conversation about that, and that's why I wanted to address that topic in this video. Thanks a lot. Gordon Miller from G3 again. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.